Hi everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. So glad you guys could join me today. Hey, it's time for a fancy fold card. Now what you're going to love about today's fancy fold is it is easy. Fancy doesn't mean it has to be difficult. We're all about simple around here. This is a really fun fold. We're creating a Valentine's Day card, but I think when you see by the end of the video, your head's probably going to be spinning like mine is with all the different things that you could create with just a little bit of designer series paper, a couple little score lines, and a little fancy fold. Are you ready to learn how? All right, let's go get started. This is going to be a very special card. Maybe you've got a significant other, or maybe for the kids or grandkids, this is going to be a great card. Let's go over the cardstock that we need to create the card. We're going to start with a piece of 8.5 by 11 Whisper White thick cardstock. I'll show you how to cut and score that here in just a minute. Because it's a Valentine's Day card, we're going to use the From My Heart Specialty Designer Series paper. Now, why is it a specialty? Let me show you. Do you see this great foil in this paper? It is so pretty. Let me give you the measurements. This piece here is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. This one here is 1.5 inches by 5 1/4. These two pieces are 1 inch by 5 1/4. Oops, I almost forgot one. I have another strip of that designer series paper, 1 inch by 10 inch, and I chose the stripe for this one. And then we're going to need a couple pieces of Whisper White and Black, and that's for our focal image here. I didn't give measurements because scraps are going to work great with this, as long as the scraps are big enough to go inside these heart punches. I love these heart punches, and this actually comes as a bundle. Let me go ahead and show you the stamp set. And yes, the stamp set is always the star of the show. We're going to use heartfelt today. You see, this is a great one. We have lots of heart images, and those, of course, are going to work with those punches. And we have some wonderful sentiments as well. I do want to point out what I love about this stamp set is that it has Valentine friendships in it as well. And so that's a great one to send to just friends as well. So lucky to have a friend like you. And being friends is better than eating candy, but let's do that too. Isn't that a fun sentiment? All right, now we just need a little bit of ribbon. And we're going to use the Real Red double stitch satin ribbon. Guys, this is a beautiful one. It's very soft, so it's going to tie nicely. We're going to need 8 inches of that ribbon. All right, so I did mention at the beginning of the video, we do need to cut this cardstock down. So I have got the 8.5 inch side at the top, and I want to cut this to 5.5. So it'll be 5.5 by 11. So that's a very different cut. It's not half of a piece of cardstock. So there is our 5.5 by 11. Now let's do some scoring. So here's my scoring blade. Remember, we always make sure we're using the right blade when we need to cut or when we need to score. We're going to start by scoring at 1 1/4 inch. Let's slide it down. We're going to score at 5.5 inches. And now I'm going to take the swing out arm so I can take this down to 9 1/4 inch, and we'll give it one more quick score. That's the scoring to give us this nice little triple fold. Now this piece that we have left over, we're actually going to cut again. And I want to cut this down to 1 1/4, and it's going to be 1 1/4 by 11, but we're actually going to cut it down 1 1/4 by 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold the cardstock in half. Remember, we had a score line at the halfway mark. So there's our card, just an open and close. Let's take, this is the 1 1/4 inch flap, so that's the smaller one. We're gonna fold it in, and then that 1 1/2 inch, I believe, we're gonna fold it out. All right, now listen, if you mess those up, it's not a problem. You can easily go back and fold the other way. But what you're going to see is when these go together, that's how we're going to get that wonderful little triple fold look. All right, now let's add our designer series paper. Let's start with the inside of the card. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take that stripe and I'm going to add that here on that first big panel. Now, while I'm adhering this, if you missed any of the measurements or you want to see photos of the card, be sure to check out SimplySimpleStamping.com. Look for the January 9th, 2020 blog post. I'll have all the details there. Now we're going to take the 2 strips that are the hearts, and we're going to add one here, I'm going to flip it over. We're going to add the other one right here. All right, let me go ahead and open it back up. So my last piece is going to adhere right here. So on the inside, we've got hearts, we've got stripes, and we've got those beautiful foil dots. Now, I hope your mind is spinning like mine of all the different designer series paper that you have that you could do this card with. But now you can see how that's going to kind of go together. All right, our card is done. Now let's create our belly band. So I'm going to take that strip of Whisper White, I'm going to line it up here on that second flap. Okay, that's just going to give me a good marker. And let's just bend that. And we'll bring the other side around. Now I can just adhere this together. While I do that, if you have not become a subscriber of my channel, today's a great day to do that. Click that great big red subscribe button and YouTube will let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. Now I'm going to take that designer series paper, that strip, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So let's go ahead. We're going to adhere it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add my adhesive. And you can see I can kind of line it up right there. Now I can wrap it around. And I am going to go ahead and give this just a little adhesive here, but I do like to go ahead and make those marks. So let's just add just enough. I mean, we don't have to go crazy, but we want to make sure things are going to hold in place. All right, let's wrap around. And there is our belly band. Now we'll be decorating that belly band in a little bit, but let's go ahead and get our stamping done. Here we go. I'm going to use 2 ink pads today, a real red ink pad and then my Memento Tuxedo Black. All right, we're going to start with the front of our card and I'm going to stamp Love You Lots. We're going to do that in our black ink and we'll stamp that right down there in the corner. All right, we're going to doll it up with some hearts because we've got this cute little heart stamp. So let's add some little red hearts around our sentiment. So here, here, and about right there. I'm going to remove the belly band so I can stamp the inside of my card right here. And I'm going to take that heart outline, stamp it right there at the top. And now with the From My Heart to Yours, we'll stamp that in the black ink right inside our heart. Let's add a few more of those little hearts again. Now I also stamped the Happy Valentine's Day in the real red ink, and I'm going to take the solid heart, okay? Because remember, we have a solid and we have a scallop. So let's cut out or punch out our Happy Valentine's Day heart. And then I'll take the scallop heart and we're going to get that basic black, and that's just going to give us a really nice punch of color, just that big bold. Let's adhere these together. Ooh, see what I mean? So sweet. There is just something about black and red that I love. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to close up our card. We're going to take that belly band. We're going to put it back around the card. And you see that heart is going to cover up that seam. Now I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals because you guys know I love me some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm just going to put 2 on either side of that seam. And then I can add my heart on top. Very sweet. Now I love to add a little ribbon. I love ribbon on a card. So there is that real red satin ribbon. Again, I said I had 8 inches. We're going to tie it in a square knot. So while I get this square knot tied, I hope that you guys are enjoying this card. Hey, do me a favor. If you like this card, you like fun folds, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. And YouTube does too. There we go. Now that is really sweet, but if you're like me, you like to add a little bling. Now this suite actually has some really sweet little sequins and faceted gems. And guess what? Connie can't find them. Well, what's new? You know, my stamp room's kind of a mess right now. So I'm going to bring in some of our real red rhinestones because I think those look nice too. And I could find them. All right, let's just pick up. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Let's add a few of these. And these do really look sweet on this card. So either the faceted gems or those sweet little red rhinestones are going to look great. All right, my friends, look at that. Just a fabulous little over-the-top card for someone really special on Valentine's. We've got great foil, we've got bling, we've got ribbon, which gives it a nice softness, we've got hearts. The card just kind of has it all. I told you it was simple. It really is a great and simple card. Simple scoring, simple pieces of designer series paper. Hopefully you have got a lot of designer series paper in your stash, and you could maybe create a birthday version or a friendship version. Thank you. There's a lot of great reasons to send a fun fold. Am I right? All right, my friends, that is all for me today. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.